To create a Mandelbulb with Octane Render 2018 RC1, it's very simple. You just want to go to Plugins, Cinema 4D Octane Render, and you'll see there's a new option added called Vectron. So go ahead, select that. You can see it's created a Vectron object. And now in our scene, you can see this bounding box. Now our fractals are procedurally generated within this bounding box. Now the only settings we need to adjust here is under script category. You want to select Vectron, and our script preset is going to be Mandelbulb. Now you guys can obviously go ahead and play around with these different presets and see what they do, but we're only creating a Mandelbulb within this tutorial. Now you can see there's some scripting here as well and some coding, which I personally don't understand, but I'm sure those that understand this will be able to push it a lot further. So the only option we are going to be adjusting is the power, which is also going to allow us to animate our Mandelbulb. Alright, so our Mandelbulb is only going to be visible within the Octane live viewer, so let's go ahead and open that up. Let's send it to the live viewer, and immediately you'll see an indication of our Mandelbulb over here. But now it doesn't look maybe the way you expected it to look, and that's because we need to adjust this power setting. So the higher this number is, the more detailed and more intricate your Mandelbulb is going to be. So I'm actually going to put my value on 7. And one issue that's currently present with Vectron right now is that there's a clipping distance. So you can see we can't really see our object correctly unless we zoom in. So if we zoom in quite a bit, it's going to start taking shape, and there we go. Now we can actually see a correct representation of our Mandelbulb. Alright, so let's go ahead and animate this Mandelbulb. So if you go back to Vectron, and if these settings have disappeared, just switch to another preset and then switch back to Mandelbulb, and they should appear again. So on frame 0, we want our power on 2, then maybe on frame 90 we wanted to go all the way up to 7 and create another keyframe. So from 0 to 90, our Mandelbulb is actually going to be animating. So there we go. Pretty cool, right? And you can do it directly in Cinema 4D, which I think is pretty awesome. And these Mandelbulbs look really, really trippy. So there you go. You can animate them as well. Alright, so I showed you guys how to create the Mandelbulb and animate it. Now let's do it from the beginning. Plug in Cinema 4D Octane Vectron. I'm changing that to Vectron and putting this on Mandelbulb. I'm going to put my power on 7. And I've got my bounding box over here. So if you go ahead, open up the live viewer, what I'm actually going to do first is, let me zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to reorientate my Mandelbulb. So I'm going to turn it this way. Okay. And then I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. And now what I'm actually going to do, let's say I'm happy with this angle. I'm going to go ahead and create a Octane camera. Alright, so let's create our material. I'm going to go to Shader, Octane Material. I'm going to drag and drop this onto my Vectron. Double click that. I'm going to change this to glossy. The diffuse is going to be completely black. My roughness, we'll maybe put this on, let's see, just want to apply a little bit of roughness. So I'm going to go on 0.25. Okay. And then I'm going to apply a little bit of index on here. So 5.7, that's going to make it very shiny, almost like a chrome or metallic material. And then under the film layer, I'm going to put my film IOR on 1. I'm going to create a gradient, go into the gradient over here, just clamp this black value up a little bit. All right, and there we go. This material is now good to go. So if I refresh my live viewer, we've got this really crazy psychedelic material or iridescent / pearlescent material on here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and actually create some area light. So I'm going to create an area light over there. And since I'm not in my camera right now, let me just move out of the scene. I can make this window a little bit smaller. Right, so I'm going to create 4 area lights. So I'm going to increase the size of this. Let me just turn on my live view again and make sure the light is being cast against the sphere. Yes, that's correct. There's the white region over there. Okay, now I can pause that. So I can make it a little bit bigger. Right, and Control C, Control V. Let's put one on this side as well. Rotate it that way. Control C, Control V. Let's place one on top. Rotate it. Okay, and we want to place one in the front as well. So Control C, Control V. Move that down. And we've got one in the front. Okay, so refresh my live viewer. There we go. We can see light is being cast on here. Now I just want to make sure I'm going into all of these Octane area lights. And visibility, I don't want any camera visibility. Right, so I'm going to do that for all of them. And now we're basically going to continue texturing our Mandelbulb with light. So let's go ahead and snap to our camera. Let's go ahead and activate our live viewer. So now we can see all of these crazy colors on here that are being created from this material that we made. But now, if we go ahead and we start going into our lights, like let me go into our first light over here and I change the temperature to something else, maybe orange, and bump up the power. Again, this is going to be up to you. When it comes to creative freedom, you guys can decide exactly how you want to go ahead and texture this. So I'm just playing around with some of these settings. Let's see, maybe I'll move the temperature all the way down here. See how that looks. Maybe clamp it all the way down. That's going to make it red. I can put one on the front as well. See, some orange seeping in, some yellows there at the top. So you guys can have a whole lot of fun with the way you want to actually go ahead and light this. That is completely up to you. So you can see, just playing around with the power and the temperature, because the temperature controls the overall color, and you can see we can get some pretty crazy colors on here. So there we go. It's just a matter of having fun and seeing what you can come up with. Right, so we've got some red on here, there's some whites and blues, and just a whole lot of these really crazy colors. Alright, so let's go back to our camera. So currently at this focal length, it works well. We're not seeing any clipping. If you were doing close-ups, I would actually switch that to 80 millimeters, which is really going to zoom in. You'll see if I refresh the live viewer, it's going to go ahead and zoom in. We'll get some really nice close-up shots with all of that detail in here. So if that's something you want, just go ahead and change your focal length. But I'm going to put mine back on the default. Let me just go ahead and pause that. I'm going to put that back on our 36 millimeter, which is just going to zoom out. Right, and just pause that right now. Alright, 36. And then in our camera settings, I'm going to go ahead and here by thin lens, I'm going to apply a little bit of aperture. So when you have close-up shots, there's going to be some nice depth of field. Our camera imager, let's go ahead and enable that. And we want to enable AI denoiser as well. So whenever it reaches the end amount of samples, it's going to go ahead and show you a denoised result. Now 128 is quite low. We'll maybe want to put that on 500 so that we get a better result. You'll see on 128, as soon as it reaches 128, it's going to denoise it and give us a clean result over here. You'll see there's our denoise. But again, I said 128 is quite low, so you'd maybe want to crank that up a little bit. So you'd want to go to samples, put that on something like 500. Oh, in the GI mode, I'm going to put on GI diffuse. All right. And then over here, you can play around with some of the exposure and the gamma settings. All right, so you guys can see exactly my values that I'm adjusting here. I'm going to go to post-processing, apply a little bit of bloom. All right, just so there's a little bit of glow in certain areas, which looks pretty cool as well. And that's basically it. And of course, you can go back to your Vectron. If you wanted to, like I showed you in the beginning, we can put this on 2, put a keyframe, go all the way, go all the way to 90. Let me just pause that because my viewport is really slow. Put that on 7 and place another keyframe. So now, here we go. We've got this animated, right? It's all animated and it's got that material on there as well. Obviously, you need to let it apply a couple of samples so we can see the more accurate result. But there we go. That's how I've created this Mandelbulb in Cinema 4D using Vectron. Alright guys, so I went ahead, adjusted some of my Octane lights. You guys can pause here and see exactly what I've adjusted. Let me just zoom out of my camera so you can see which lights are being selected. So Octane light over here is going to be the light on the side of my box. Right, and these are going to be the settings. So you guys can pause there and see exactly what I've got selected. Right, this is going to be the light on the other side. This is going to be our top light. And this one is going to be our front light. So if you guys are going for those exact same colors that you saw on here just now, those are the colors that I'm using. And if you wanted to use a very specific color with one of these lights, all you have to do is here by texture, you want to load in an RGB spectrum. Then you go into the RGB spectrum and you can choose any color that you want over here. So that can also give you a little bit more control over what colors you want to be painted onto different areas of your Mandelbulb. Alright, so that's it guys. How you actually decide on texturing this is completely up to you. When I look at the end results of Mandelbulbs, they kind of look like some exotic strain of weed or something. It just looks crazy. But anyway, we are done. I showed you how to set this up, how to even animate it. Very basic. We just used a script preset, and like I said, people that understand this coding can probably push this way further. We're just doing a basic just doing something basic with the Vectron. There's a lot of other stuff in here as well, but like I said, this tutorial is just focused on creating the Mandelbulb. So now you know exactly how to do it. Go ahead, maybe change the focal length, do some close-up shots, and maybe go back to the Vectron, put this on a value like 11 where it's super detailed, so you get those really interesting and intricate details with even close-up shots as well. Alright, so I duplicated my camera, put it on 80mm, zoomed in a little bit, and explored some other regions on the Mandelbulb. And you can see when you zoom in, there's just tons and tons of really intricate detail on here. This almost looks like an alien plant or an alien planet, or I don't know, it just looks so interesting and so abstract. And this material is really helping to make this Mandelbulb look very interesting. So yeah, it's as simple as that. Maybe in my camera I could have maybe increased the aperture to get a little bit more depth of field, but go ahead and explore and see all of the really interesting detail on the Mandelbulb that you generate. And here by my Vectron I actually put my power on 12. And yeah, so this was just a basic tutorial showing you how to set up the Mandelbulb. Don't be afraid to experiment, maybe play around with other presets. If you understand coding, sure, go ahead, maybe adjust some of the values here and see what else you can do with Vectron and these fractals. Anyway, I thought I'd cover this as well for those of you who are wondering how I was actually lighting my Mandelbulbs in those preview images. You can see I've created my Mandelbulb over here. I've basically positioned it at an angle, and then I created a Octane material that's glossy with a black diffuse and a little bit of roughness. That's it for the material that was applied onto my Vectron. And then you can see I've got lights in the front, the back, and on top. Right, and all of these lights, they don't use any colors. The temperature is consistent throughout all of them. Alright, and then there's also an Octane daylight in my scene. Right, that's been added. I didn't adjust any of these other settings. I just rotated it a little bit. And then I've got obviously my close-up cameras over here, as you can see. So here's my close-up camera, and this one by the thin lens, there's my aperture settings, just so I'm getting this nice depth of field. So that's how I set up these images here, these gray or metallic images for the Mandelbulb. Alright, and if you guys have used the AI denoiser, you just want to go to File and save this out as a PSD, so it saves both the raw image and the beauty pass, which is going to be your denoised beauty, and you'll see that within Photoshop when you open it up. Anyway guys, go and have fun with these Mandelbulbs. Maybe render out a video where it's been animated, play around with the different colors and see what you can come up with. I think it's a really awesome tool for creating abstract artwork, and it just looks interesting. It's really strange and really abstract, but yeah, I don't know how other people are going to end up using this. I don't see too much use for this, but if you want something abstract and really intricate and detailed, then definitely using fractals and Mandelbulbs is going to help you achieve that. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching my videos and tutorials. Stay tuned for some more videos and tutorials, and goodbye.